Having a good time?
Yes, but these are kind of tight. Can you loosen them up a bit? My wrists hurt.
You'll be fine. Plus, I don't want you to try to get away from me.
Wait a minute. What is that for? What are you doing?
Good morning, babe. How did you sleep?
Slept well. I have court today, so I won't be home until late.
Excuse me? We upped our reservations at 7. I reserved this place last month. Do you know how hard it is to make a reservation at Hayes?
Listen, this case is more demanding than I anticipated. I'm defending a teenager accused of killing her mother and father with the assistance of her boyfriend.
You have court at noon. It's just an arraignment. I don't understand why you can't work from then till 6 p.m.
I have to look through evidence, speak with my client, and all other areas of this case to ensure she has a fair trial.
I understand that you're busy, but what about us?
What about us?
We don't spend time together anymore. We've been married for 5 fucking years.
We have breaking news. Another body has been found in the Hollywood Hills. The victim has been identified as Candace Henderson, the wife of Grammy Award-winning music producer Roy Henderson Jr. She was found shot multiple times in the head in her Hollywood mansion. This is the third slaying of this type in 6 months. Investigators believe this is the work of a serial killer. If you have any information, please contact the Los Angeles Police Department.
This is fucking insane. I have to go.
No, we're not done talking.
Bye.
Happy anniversary, Connie.
Excuse me, is your name Kashe, right?
Yes, and you are?
My apologies, I'm Mimi. I believe I saw you at Roy's Grammy party.
I'm sorry. There were a lot of people there. I'm not really good with faces, let alone names.
It's fine, I understand. I'm just a fan, that's all.
Speaking of Roy, I heard about the slaying of his wife. That's so sad.
Yeah, poor man. I can't even imagine what he's going through.
Yeah, me either. I'm sorry, what did you say your name was again?
Mimi.
Mimi?
Yes.
Well, Mimi, it's nice to meet you again.
Are you here alone?
Yes, actually. My wife had to work late. It's our anniversary, and I don't know. I probably should have stayed home.
No one should be alone on their anniversary, may I?
Sure, why not?
I hate to come off as a crazed fan, but I loved your article in Criminology today.
Thank you.
The piece you did, Inside of Minds of the Serial Killer, was very intriguing.
Yeah, I went to school for criminal justice, but I got my doctorate in psychology. I've always been fascinated with why people behave in a particular manner. I think I've always been interested in true crime cases. However, after watching the case about the 2 sisters who murdered their mother, I knew I had to learn more pertaining to true crime cases. It also helps that my wife is a celebrity criminal lawyer. Most of my writings are inspired by her cases.
That's amazing. All my husband does is cook. I'm not to be domestic at all. Well, I don't mean to be rude, but it's getting late. I should probably head home.
What's that?
Oh, it just work. I'm a photographer with Hollywood Scores.
Wow, that's really cool, and that's a great shot.
It's hardly my best, but thank you. I do a little freelance work on the side. I think that's where I truly shine.
I understand. I think we really do our best work when we just let go and follow our inspiration.
Wow, I couldn't agree more.
Anyway, I should probably leave as well. It was nice meeting you, Mimi.
Wait, where did you park?
Valet, of course.
Well, Kasher, let me wait with you while your car arrives. I want to make sure you're safe.
That's sweet. Thank you so much. And please call me Cash. Everyone does, even though I'm a doctor.
Cash? I love that.
Thank you for making time to meet with me, Mrs. Thomas. I'm sure you're quite busy.
You're welcome. And please, call me Connie.
Of course. So, Connie, you single-handedly pulled Roy Henderson out of the fire in that defamation suit last summer. That was quite impressive.
Well, I wouldn't say single-handed. I just followed the facts. If I recall correctly, you wrote some pretty inflammatory things in your article concerning the allegations against Mr. Roy.
Well, you're not the only one who likes to follow the facts.
We seem to have two different definitions of the word fact. In any case, Mr. Washington, how can I help you?
Call me Tom. I'm curious about Roy and Candace's relationship. What was it like working with the Hendersons?
Roy was interesting. I'm really not sure what I can add that the public doesn't already know. He's pretty eccentric, but he's not a bad guy.
Of course. Of course. And what can you tell me about Candace? What was she like?
Honestly, she was pretty quiet. I really didn't get to know her very well. My primary focus was the case.
Naturally. What was her relationship like with her husband?
It's hard to say. Roy was a man who loves the spotlight, and he tends to get it. Candace comes off a little bit more reserved. You might even call her distant at times. I guess I could say it was almost like they lived separate lives, you know? They lived separate lives, but they were both busy people. But I wouldn't say that there was any red flags.
You wouldn't say? Or you don't want to say?
What exactly are you implying?
I'm not implying anything, Connie. It's my understanding that Roy can be difficult to deal with. Even intimidating?
Well, that's not my experience, Tom. In fact, I can't ever think of a time that I was intimidated by a man.
No, of course not. Let me rephrase that. Was there any indication Roy might want to harm his wife?
I heard she was a victim of a serial killer.
That's a suspicion, but I didn't get where I am today by failing to follow any and all potential leads. Come on, Connie, is there any information you can share about Roy that might shed some light on his relationship with his wife?
As I'm sure you know, Tom, as Roy's former defense attorney, I'm not at liberty to discuss his private information. I can only speak on my observations. And I think I've been very clear that there's no indication that he may harm his wife. A less than perfect marriage is hardly evidence of any foul play.
So you've got no dirt on this man at all. Of course. Well, thank you for your time, Connie. I won't keep you, but if anything does come to mind, please feel free to contact me.
You'll be the first person I call.
So we got ourselves a real lady killer here, huh?
What is it that all these women have in common?
What do most women have in common? Oops.
Focus, Manny.
They all had rich husbands.
No, that's a start. Black women, wealthy husbands. If these murders really are all connected, there's got to be a discernible pattern. Why these women?
Some serial killers actually like to be noticed, right? All of these women are high class. You think that means something?
It's definitely a start. We've got enough to start putting together a profile here. Black women, Hollywood Hills, all of their spouses are celebrities.
Now we're talking. Officer Eagle Eye is on the case.
We're just getting started.
She's cute. Maybe a little too chubby for me. Damn it. That's fat shaming. Oh well, she can't hear me. Ugh, boring. Not my type. Ew, what the hell is that? Lord, how hard is it to match with someone these days? Hold up, who's this?
Who's who?
Nobody. Someone followed me on social media and I couldn't recall who they were.
Oh, okay. How was dinner?
It would have been better if you were there.
Cash, don't start this shit, okay? I told you I have work. I can't stop my career for some dinner date. I'm a successful lawyer.
Forget it. That just like you forgot today was our 5th wedding anniversary.
You know what? I'm exhausted. I'm not dealing with this right now.
Good night.
Good night and happy anniversary.
Wait a minute. I know this woman. Mimi. Let's swipe right. Let's see what she's about. 35 years of age, single parent. Yeah, right. Loves dogs, wine, and traveling. My type of girl.
Thanks for meeting me.
I must say, after the restaurant the other night, I was somewhat interested.
Somewhat.
Well, we both are married and I don't know. I've never done this before.
Then what? Have coffee with a friend?
You know what I mean. The whole dating app thing. I'm new to it. I met my wife through a mutual friend.
It's just coffee, babe. No worries.
So how long have you been on those apps?
Just a few months. It's lonely being a chef's wife. My friend found her wife on a dating app, and I thought, why not? I have nothing better to do. Plus, it beats being lonely.
I understand. My wife is never home, and when she is, we either fight or she's working on a case. She has no time for us anymore. We've been married 5 years, and I can't tell you the last time we made love. We were supposed to have kids by now. I'm sorry, you don't want to hear this.
No, it's fine. I totally understand. I know what's like to feel neglected in your marriage. Honestly, that's why I started using dating apps. It's nice to have a good company, and if it goes further, so be it. My husband will never know. I know it sounds bad, but as women, we have needs too, you know?
Amen. Amen to that. So you've been doing this for months and you've never gotten caught?
Not once.
I mean, he's not the least bit suspicious.
When your spouse is that busy, they never notice. Trust me, you have nothing to worry about. This will be our little secret.
I thought this was just coffee.
Secret coffee. It's what we make of.
I guess I just feel guilty not telling her the complete truth.
Then don't tell her anything at all. If she's as busy as you say she is, she will never question you. I've learned that what your spouse doesn't know won't hurt them, and if they've been taken for granted, it's time for someone new to enjoy you.
That's terrible.
It's the truth. You said so yourself. You can't remember the last time someone has touched you.
I can't do this.
And why is that?
I'm betraying my wife.
Betrayal. You know what is betrayal? Making your wife feel unwanted. That's betrayal.
I get that, but
She deserves to feel wanted.
of course.
I can make you feel wanted.
Is that so?
Yes.
In what ways?
I can show you in a lot better than I can tell you.
Show me.
I would show you more, but we're in public.
Let's go somewhere more private then.
After you.
Good afternoon, Cash.
Good afternoon.
Listen, I know I've been busy, but I got a little time today. Would you like to get out? We can get a drink, a bite to eat, both.
I would, but I'm busy.
Doing what?
I have an article to finish for a case I'm studying. It's probably going to take the whole night. Brain check?
Let me get this straight. You complained this entire week that I don't make time for you. And I finally have a little time off and you don't want to spend time with me.
You missed our anniversary. That's an important moment in our lives together. We've been married 5 years.
I have a demanding career, Cash.
And my career isn't demanding? I'm so sick of you downplaying my career as if it isn't as important as yours.
That's not what I'm saying.
Then what are you saying exactly?
I apologize for my verbiage. I just thought, seeing as though I had some time today, I could make up for the anniversary. That's all.
Listen, I have to go. I'll talk to you some other time.
Are you kidding me?
No. Goodbye, Connie. Oh, there's a hot pocket in the fridge if you get hungry.
A hot pocket? Oh, this is bullshit.
They don't know. They don't know. They don't fucking know who you are. They don't respect you. You have to make them fucking respect you. You are Mimi. Don't you dare back down now. That's what they want, but they are not ready. They're not ready for what you have in store. This is only the beginning. Do you hear me? Only the fucking beginning.
You were instrumental in clearing Roy Henderson's name last year, so we figured you must have gotten to know the family pretty well. Did you happen to notice any oddities? Anything jump out at you?
Deja vu.
I'm sorry?
Never mind. Nothing in particular stands out. Roy's a bit of a character, but I'm sure you figured that out by now.
Character is putting it mildly. He's like if Suge Knight and Mariah Carey had a child. Now, how are you going to be a thug and a diva at the same time?
I don't know, but that is a perfect description of that man. Either way, I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary. Everyone loved Candace. I'm still having trouble processing it, honestly.
That's understandable.
Is this really the work of a serial killer? One who targets Black women?
Well, we can't rule that out, but at the moment, nothing is certain.
Either way, there's no reason to believe you're in any danger. We just want to gather as much information as possible as we pursue our leads. There's no need to panic, Ms. Thomas.
Of course.
Well, we won't keep you. Thank you for your time, Ms. Thomas. Please feel free to contact us if you remember anything you think might be useful.
Will do, officers. Good luck with your investigation.
These past few days have been amazing.
You see what you've been missing? If you keep an open mind, great things can happen.
Part of me does still feel a little guilty.
Why? Did she feel guilty when she left you alone on your anniversary?
Mimi.
No, seriously. How can you feel guilty when you've been taken for granted?
I think where the guilt comes from is not being able to tell her the truth.
And what's the truth?
That I'm falling for you.
Really?
I know it sounds crazy because we've just been getting to know one another. However, I haven't felt this way in a long time. I'm not even sleeping with my wife anymore. I don't want her to touch me.
She hasn't touched you in forever.
I barely want her to speak to me.
Can she even hold a conversation other than discussing a case?
God forbid if she texts me. I've been ignoring them.
You never ignore mine.
I feel so free, so alive.
So beautiful?
That too.
What else?
I don't know. I've never felt like this, not even with my wife. You bring some sort of peace to me that I've never experienced before. It's like I could be having the worst day ever, but when we're together, nothing else matters. I forget all about work in my marriage. I know it isn't good to rely on someone else to make you happy, but I think I am happy with you, Mimi.
I'm happy with you too.
No, I guess what I'm trying to say is I love you.
I love you too. Why don't we get the check and go back to my place for a nightcap?
A nightcap?
I won't keep you out all night, and if so, I'm sure you'll find an excuse. You are so good at it.
Whatever.
So,
So what?
are you down?
Of course, let's go.
Excuse me.
Yes?
I hate to be weird, but is your name Cash Thomas?
Yes, it is. And you are?
Nadia Abel.
Nice to meet you, Miss Abel.
I'm a huge fan of yours. Do you mind if I sit?
Of course.
Thank you. I loved the recent piece you wrote on the Hollywood Hills murders. It was so intriguing.
Thank you. I've always been fascinated with murder and why people kill.
Yeah, it's really interesting, yet sad.
I agree. It's pretty heavy, but I think people need to know about these cases in order to be aware and safe.
Like the one you did on Mrs. Abel.
I'm sorry?
My mother, Cynthia Abel. You did a piece on her unsolved murder a few weeks ago.
Yes, it was just an introduction.
You called her a college dropout?
I don't recall.
Oh, now you don't recall? Okay.
I apologize.
Stupid bitch, you disrespected my mother. Maybe she didn't have a degree, but she was a business owner. She did a lot for the Black community in Hollywood. Next time you want to mention my mother's legacy, make sure you get your fucking facts straight.
What the hell happened to you?
A crazy fan, or at least I thought she was a fan. Whatever, some crazy girl pretended to be a fan threw a drink on me.
Wait, what? Why?
Do you remember the woman who was murdered a few weeks ago?
Possibly.
Well, I did a piece on her story, and I've been following the killing since they've begun.
Okay.
Well, this last woman that was murdered had dropped out of college. She married into wealth, but ultimately became a household name. She had various charities, donated to different organizations centered around African Americans and other minorities.
What does this have to do with some girl throwing water on you?
She was a daughter of the woman who was murdered.
I'm still lost.
She was upset that I specifically mentioned her mother not obtaining a degree. And although I did mention that she didn't have a degree, I also commented on her accomplishments as well.
Some people are literally insane. Don't let things like that get to you. I think what you are doing is necessary, and these murders are intriguing.
Yeah, they are. I mean, can you believe 3 wealthy African-American women murdered in Hollywood Hills? It's damn near mystical. The kind of thing that makes history.
Yeah, that's crazy.
African-American women in their early 30s murdered in Hollywood. Writing about these things can make my career.
True, but I don't want you to overdo it. I know you are stressed. So I have a proposition that might reinvigorate you.
I'm listening.
Let's go to Mexico.
Mexico?
Yes, I have a photo there. You can get a lot of writing done, and it's paradise.
I don't know. What am I going to tell Connie?
Tell her you're going off grid for a little.
Mimi.
What? Writers do it all the time. Plus, you could even throw in, we need some time apart. We haven't been getting along, and maybe some distance will help our relationship. All that stuff.
You don't know my wife.
I honestly doubt she'll care.
Babe, you don't know my wife. She's crazy as hell despite the fact that she's a lawyer. Don't let the Hollywood fool you. She knows how to get HUD.
Say you'll at least give it some thought.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Great. We leave tomorrow night.
What?
I have to go pop. Love you.
This place is beautiful.
I know, right? I can't believe we are here.
I honestly thought I'd have to fight Connie in order to get out of the house.
Yeah, how did you manage that?
I took your advice. I told her I was going off grid and that I really needed to clear my mind. She agreed, and to my surprise, told me to have a good time.
See, I told you she shouldn't care. This way you are not nagging her anymore and you both can get some work done.
So, what's on the agenda for today?
Well, my mother should be arriving in a few hours. We are going to go to the beach to shoot first, and then we'll be at the studio tomorrow.
And what am I supposed to do to kill time?
Once I get set up, come meet me on the beach. You can see me in action. Also, the studio has a small space. It's all perfect for writing.
Writing on the beach. That could be nice.
It's peaceful. You'll love it.
Okay, I guess I can come check you out for a bit.
Great. Get dressed.
What am I supposed to wear?
A bikini. We are in Mexico. I want to see you in as little as possible.
You're so bad.
That's why you love me.
Of course.
I'm going to run down to the lobby for a snack and I will be back soon.
Wait, you said we have a couple hours, right?
Yeah.
So what's the rush?
This is why I don't get close. They never respect you in the end. Nothing is ever really good enough. You give and you give and you give, and they take and they take and they take. I've poured my all into this, just like everything I do, and it's never enough. No one ever cares enough. Have I been deluding myself? Is she not special? How much longer do I have to search? I can't keep doing this. It's driving me crazy. No one ever respects me. No one ever says, Mimi, you are enough. Mimi, you are just what I need. Mimi, you are perfect. Is that too much to ask? Where were you?
Writing in the lobby. I just needed a change of scene. You must have walked right past me.
So what, you just brushed it off?
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? We had plans, Cash.
Plans? Oh, shit. You wanted me to come watch you work. I'm so sorry, Mimi. I just got caught up in my writing.
You said you'd bring your work with you. Remember work on the beach?
I know. It's just the police were giving more details about the recent killing, and I just got inspired, So I went down to the lobby because we ran out of coffee and...
It's fine. Forget it.
Baby, please. I just lost track of time. When I get into my work, I lose myself. But from now on, it's just you and me. Let's set work aside and just be in the moment.
You're right.
From this point on, we're gonna make the most of this time together. No distractions.
Fine. No distractions. Anyway, I have a surprise for you.
What is it?
Well, it's a surprise. But I promise it's something that you'll never forget.
I'll never forget any of this. You've given me something I haven't had in a long time.
There is so much more where that came from.
Please have a seat. Can I offer you anything?
You don't happen to have any tequila, do you?
We're good, thanks. Mrs. Thomas, I'm afraid we have some bad news. It's about your wife, Cachet.
Cash? What about her? What happened?
Are you aware of her having taken a trip to Mexico?
Of course. She took a little vacation. She's been stressed lately, and we agreed it would be good for her to take some time to herself. What happened?
Miss Thomas, we're afraid that Cachet has been murdered. Mrs. Thomas. Did you hear me?
Mrs. Thomas, we're very sorry.
Connie,
Sorry?
my name.
Yeah, Connie.
Connie, I know this is a lot, but do you think you can answer some questions?
What? What do you need from me?
When was the last time you heard from Cash?
We talked briefly Sunday morning. No, this can't be right. Are you certain it was her?
Yeah, a body was found at approximately 11 o'clock Wednesday morning.
A body? What makes you so sure it's Cash?
Cash's purse washed up just a few feet from the body. Her passport was inside.
Her body was badly decomposed. We believe she had been killed around 3 days before she was found, but the victim fits Cash's physical description, size, and build.
And the presence of the person, the fact that she hasn't been seen in days, leads us to believe it's your wife.
This is crazy. How?
We're working closely with Mexican authorities to piece together exactly what happened to your wife.
Did anyone else know about Cash's trip?
No, not that I'm aware of. She works freelance, so it's not like she needed time off.
What about while she was there? Did she say anything at all about her situation? Anything that might clarify the circumstances that led to her death?
No, nothing. I mean, she seemed a little distracted, but she didn't say anything.
Is it possible that she tried hinting that something may have been wrong? Maybe she didn't feel safe, but she couldn't tell you directly?
You're saying you think she was being held against her will?
Well, we're not saying anything yet, but we can't rule out any possibilities at this stage in our investigation.
Any information could prove valuable, even things that you think are inconsequential.
Thing is, we were going through a rough patch. She was distant lately, even before she left. That's part of why she wanted to get away, take some time to herself. It's my fault.
Connie, no part of this is your fault. Please don't blame yourself.
She didn't say anything unusual. The last time we talked, she mentioned that she would be spending some time on some beach that wasn't too busy. She always says location matters when it comes to writing.
So the last time you talked to her, she said she was heading to the beach?
Yeah, but she seemed fine.
And you're certain she didn't say anything else?
Maybe something that might help us plot out a timeline of her activities.
Honestly, we barely talked while she was away. She told me she needed solitude.
Cancun doesn't exactly scream solitude. What I mean is, Cancun is a resort town. It's not a common place to go if you want to be alone.
You're sure she didn't know anyone in Mexico? Or maybe could she have met up with someone?
Of course not. She needed a change of scenery, she said. That's all. Wait, what do you mean met up with someone? Cash wouldn't cheat on me.
We're not accusing her of anything. Like we said, we're just looking at all the possibilities.
Well, that's not one of them. Wait, is there something you're not telling me?
The thing is, Connie, we think that this may be connected to the recent serial murders.
What? How? Every one of those people were killed in this area. Cash wasn't even in this country.
Yeah, but the manner of death is strikingly similar.
Even though Cash wasn't in the country at the time of death, she does fit the pattern for these slayings. All the women live within a few miles of each other.
Our killer seems to be fixated on wealthy Black women living in the Hollywood Hills. Unfortunately, Cash fits that description.
So what you're saying is that this killer followed Cash to Cancun?
Well, we can't really say how it went down, but that's how it seems.
That means the killer was nearby the whole time. They watched and waited until Cash was alone. You said there was nothing to worry about.
There was no indication your family was in any danger.
You said there was no reason to panic.
Her murderer will be brought to justice, Connie. I give you my word. This monster will pay for what they've done.
Thank you, officers. I need some time.
Of course, Connie, we understand.
We'll get to the bottom of this.
Take care of yourself, Connie.
Mrs. Thomas, there's a Mr. Henderson and Ms. Abel here to see you.
Sure, send them in. Hello, how are you?
We're good.
Good, you?
I'm okay. Can you remind me of your names?
Nadia Abel.
Henderson, Trey Henderson.
What can I do for you, Miss Abel and Mr. Henderson?
We seen on TV that your wife was murdered, along with other prestigious African American women. I hate to be rude, but if your wife is dead, why are you working?
When I'm stressed, I like to pour my feelings into work. Everything at home reminds me of cash. Wait a minute. I don't have to explain myself to you. I don't even know you. What are you two here for?
Well, I wanted to talk to you about your wife.
What about my wife?
I knew your wife.
Can you elaborate, please?
Well, I didn't know her personally, but I ran into her a few weeks ago and we exchanged words.
Okay.
She threw water on your wife.
Excuse me?
Please hear me out.
I'm listening.
She wrote an article on the Hollywood Hills murders. My mother was the last victim. Your wife mentioned in her article that my mother didn't have a college degree, and I felt that that was an unnecessary comment due to the fact that my mother was, in fact, very successful.
So you mean to tell me you were upset over a slight comment in regard to her education level. Therefore, you threw a drink on Cachet?
Petty, right?
Very.
Losing a parent is hard, and I was upset about everything. I guess I just took it out on your wife, and for that, I apologize.
My mama was killed too, but you don't see me tossing water on folks.
Jesus Christ, Trey, can I speak without you interrupting me?
No.
Anyways, I really am sorry for my actions.
Tell me something, Nadia. Are the police aware that you had issues with this dead woman?
Shut up.
Okay, you've come here for an apology. Is that correct?
Not just that.
When we saw the news report on your wife, we reached out to that journalist, Tom Washington.
He interviewed both of us after our moms were killed. Anyway, he pointed out that your wife, yet another Black woman from LA, was dead. Seeing as though we know for sure my mother, as well as Trey's mother, were killed by the same killer, we thought your wife may have had the same fate.
We are teaming up to catch that motherfucker.
Young man, how old are you?
15, why?
Watch your little 15-year-old mouth in front of adults. Do you understand me?
Yes, ma'am. I apologize.
So what would you like from me?
We want you to join us in the hunt for the killer. I understand that the police are doing their job. However, Mrs. Thomas, you could be the next victim. You're African-American, educated, career-driven, and you live in the Hollywood Hills.
Okay, go on.
With the help of Mr. Tom, myself, and Trey, I honestly think we can catch this person before they strike again.
Oh, snap. I just realized we're trying to catch an evil man. This is like Black Panther. Can I be T'Challa?
Trey.
Shut up.
Wow, okay.
I can't do anything to take back what I did to your wife, but I can try my best to make sure that we find this person so that they can't hurt anyone anymore. I already feel like crap because your wife died and I wasn't able to apologize. This is something I'll have to live with for the rest of my life. I would feel even worse if you were the next victim and I mean, if we did nothing to prevent it.
Will you please help us?
Please?
You two drive a hard bargain, but let's do this.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Trey.
Two gunshots to the head, close range. Rope burns on both wrists.
Smaller caliber this time, and that first shot was a near miss. They grazed her first.
True, and these shots weren't fired downward as with the other women. The killer didn't stand over Cachet when she was shot. Still, it looks suspiciously like the Hollywood murders.
Yeah, it's only 3,000 miles apart. Are you absolutely sure Cachet's murder is connected?
It fits too well, regardless of the location.
So this killer follows her to Mexico and does the deed there. How could the killer even know where she was headed?
That's the problem.
I got it.
What?
The killer's a psychic.
Officer Ortiz solves another one. The killer must have had information about Cash's movement somehow.
You think Cash knew the killer?
That's possible. She mentions to a friend, or someone she thinks is a friend, that she's taking a trip to Mexico.
That friend shows up, fancy meeting you here, lures her out on the water, ties her up, a couple of gunshots to the head, dumps the body overboard, and finishes their Mai Tai.
It does seem a little crude, doesn't it?
Well, shooting people in the head usually is.
I meant your explanation, Manny.
It's the best we got. What's up, hermano?
Nothing. Just I keep looking at these black women and I can't help but think about Anthony Sowell.
Refresh my memory?
The Cleveland Strangler killed 11 women in a poor black neighborhood starting in the late 80s.
Yeah. But he was killing prostitutes, right?
Yeah, it's different, but I can't help but think about the black women that don't get this kind of coverage.
I get it. If these women weren't rich, if they didn't have celebrity status, they wouldn't even be a priority, would they?
Not at all. In the case of Sowell, one of his victims accused him and the charges were thrown out claiming she's not credible. Never mind, he had just served a 15-year sentence for the very thing she charged him with.
So the convicted rapist is more credible than the victim. Fuck common sense, right?
Fuck evidence, too.
If I remember correctly, there were several police reports filed, but they ignored that asshole for years.
I think it was 6 more lives that could have been saved if they had taken that report seriously.
Yeah, but black victims, prostitution, drugs, no one cared until a body was found.
That's how it be. These things get ignored until they can't be ignored anymore. And everyone wants to scramble and be part of the fight to address it until it can't be forgotten again. It's like these women didn't matter until they were dead.
World should not be like this, amigo. Shit just ain't right.
It's why I became a detective. We all call me Eagle Eye because I notice little details, but I'm just hoping to see the people who get overlooked.
Even you can't see everything.
Yeah, that's for damn sure.
This one won't play out like that. We'll find this asshole, and those women will not be buried.
You're damn right.
That was a beautiful memorial.
Yeah, the food was hitting too.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
Yes, the ceremony was great. We really appreciate the invite.
You have our condolences, Connie.
I just still can't believe she's gone. It's like a bad dream.
Whatever you need, Connie, we're here to help.
I need to know why this happened, how this happened. I can't help but replay everything over and over again in my head. I know I wasn't there enough at the end. If I tried harder, focus more on my wife, on us, she would have never taken that stupid trip. Or I could have gone with her. I missed our anniversary. Maybe that's where we started to go wrong. No, it wasn't long before that. My whole life, I've been driven. We all got dreams, but a Black female lawyer? I lost count of how many people told me that I wouldn't make it, that it was too much. I needed to shoot for something more attainable. It's the generational rule, isn't it? When you're Black, you have to work twice as hard to get twice as far. But Cash never doubted me. She had my back all the way through law school. That woman really gave me her all. And I took it for granted. I had something so real. And all I could think about was my next case. Cachet meant so much to me. I just couldn't see it until it was too late. Whatever it takes, I just need justice for my wife.
There will be justice for Cash.
Whatever it takes, Connie.
We should get going. We've got leads to follow.
Thank you. Your dedication means a lot.
Stay strong, Connie. Yes, got my mocha frappuccino with extra whipped cream.
Frap, isn't that a little girly for you?
Nope. Caramel frap with a shot of espresso, extra whipped cream, and a little bit of sprinkles. Listen, as a black man, I'm secure with who I am.
Whatever.
What's your issue?
Nothing.
Liar! You've been acting funny all morning.
I'm fine, I promise.
You've barely talked today. You never shut up, and now you have nothing to say? That's scarier than this case.
Shut up, Trey. I'm just frustrated, that's all.
With the case?
The case, with life, with the world we live in. It's scary out here.
Yeah, it is.
I'm afraid every day that I wake up. According to the world population, 200,000 women went missing in 2022. 100,000 of them were African American women and young girls. There are more than 17,000 missing person cases and 13,000 unidentified bodies remain open in the United States. In the state of California, 2,133 people went missing. As a young Black girl, I'm afraid to walk around the store without being followed. Drive next to the police without being stopped. Jog through a neighborhood without being profiled or killed. And now I'm afraid to leave my home because there's a great possibility that I can be kidnapped and sold into sex trafficking. The sad thing is, Black women and girls who are kidnapped and killed get less media attention than those of their white counterparts. I can walk out those doors right now, walk to my car, and get snatched. Let that sink in.
What you got for us, Tom?
That's Mr. Washington to you.
Yeah, well, seeing as though we'll be spending a significant amount of time together and will eventually become close, I'm calling you Tom.
Whatever. I won't argue with a 12-year-old.
I'm 15.
Can we focus here? Okay, so let's discuss this in full detail.
One thing we do know is that the killer has sought out African American women of status.
They all reside in the Hollywood Hills.
They're all married.
There were some bad sisters. What? My mom was, and Mrs. Thomas. I seen your wife. Woo!
Be respectful.
Remember him. My dad's Grammy party. Miss Thomas, or the other Miss Thomas, was talking to my mom. She looked bad. Fine.
We get it. Now that I think of it, my parents were there too. I came late because I had a paper to submit.
Cash had to drag me to that party, but I left early due to an emergency with a client.
I was there too, killing it on the dance floor.
The first victim, Sandra Okoye, was there too. She and your mom were friends, right, Trey?
My mom ain't really all like her all like that. But yeah, they kept in touch. My mom said she was a hoe.
Language, boy.
Wait a minute. Holy shit. The victims were all at the Grammy party.
My wife.
My mother.
And my mother.
All 4 victims were at the same party, running in the same social circles.
Y'all think this fool used my dad's party to pick his victims?
That is a possibility.
So we were all there at one point or another. We might have actually seen the killer.
You mean that psycho was just running around like they belonged there?
I mean, that psycho did belong there. Whoever it was must have gotten to know all of the victims, with the exception of Cash. All were killed in their homes.
Right. No sign of forced entry. The killer was let in.
So the killer made their way through the party, making friends with the soon-to-be victims, then went after them one by one.
That's crazy, yo.
Too bad no one was keeping track.
Hold on. There were reporters everywhere and tons of pictures being taken. Maybe someone caught these interactions.
Wait, who could move through the party basically unseen? Who could have interacted with all the women without anyone really noticing? Who would be invited to the party but avoid any unwanted attention?
The press.
Exactly.
So it was a reporter?
Or more likely a photographer. They wouldn't have to interview anyone, so they could go mostly unseen.
And they wouldn't be in the pictures. They'd be a ghost.
Mimi was there.
Who?
Mimi Kazoy, she's a photographer with the Hollywood Discourse. She was working that night while I attended as a guest.
But she wasn't the only person taking pictures that night. I still can't see right out of my left eye from all the flashing.
Cut it out.
What makes you think this woman might be involved?
Mimi was definitely taking pictures. And now that I think about it, I saw her talking to Miss Okoye quite a bit that night. They seemed I don't know, friendly.
Friendly? You mean like friendly?
It's hard to say. I didn't hear much of their interactions, but it did seem a little flirtatious.
Hold on. You're suggesting this Mimi may have actually been having an affair with Okoye.
All I'm saying is it's possible. Maybe that's how she got all of these women's the ropes, no sign of forced entry or struggle.
And that includes my wife.
I don't know, Connie. I'm not accusing Cash of anything. Her scenario was different anyway. Maybe Mimi, if it was her, I don't know, did something different to get Cash. It could be anything.
I hate to say it, but it does kind of make sense.
No, hold up. My mom ain't gay. I mean, it ain't like that. Gay people cool. I'm just saying my mom wasn't.
You'd be surprised.
What?
So let's just say that it was Mimi. And let's say that she was sleeping with all the victims. Why would she do it?
Hell if I know. But she's the common denominator. She likely had contact with all four of these women, and they're all connected.
How well do you know her anyway?
She's been with a Discourse for around 3 years now. We've collaborated once or twice, but we didn't really get to know each other. She is definitely a little weird, though.
So Mimi used the party to scope out these women, struck up a relationship with them, and then murdered them all one by one?
Wait, that sounds like another chick I heard about from like the 80s. She would trick people into coming home with her. Then she killed them and ate them.
Ate them? That sounds like Dahmer.
Yeah, her. You don't think Mimi ate them, do you?
Dahmer isn't a... Never mind. Trey, stop helping.
No one's eating anyone, but this Mimi makes the most sense.
So how do we catch her?
First, we'd have to establish a connection. If she really was there and had a relationship with all these women, she'd likely have some sort of trail. But how to follow it?
The only thing we have is Cash's belongings. Her phone was in her purse when she I can see about getting the phone repaired. If we're lucky, I can access it, see who she was talking to.
Can we just tell those detectives to arrest Mimi and do a lie detector test?
That's inadmissible in court.
Exactly.
That means it can't be used, dummy.
Oh, too bad we can't just trick her into telling on herself.
Wait a second. Trey, you're a genius.
Man, I keep telling y'all folks that.
Tom, she might let her guard down with someone she knows.
You want me to talk to her?
In the right setting, she may let something slip. Draw her in and get her comfortable. She might just give something away. And I'll see what I can do about the phone.
I guess it's definitely worth a shot.
Let's contact Shepard and Ortiz, see if they can help. If she says something incriminating, better that she says it on their watch.
Ooh, we about to get this bitch.
Trey!
Hey.
Thank you for coming in, men.
You are welcome, officer. I'm not sure what I can do, but I will try. And please call me Mimi.
Mimi, we understand you were at Roy Henderson's Grammys party taking pictures. We're hoping you might have seen something.
I'm a photographer. I see everything.
Right. Well, we've been working closely with your colleague Tom here, seeing that you can piece together.
And we think you might have some valuable information about what happened that night.
Would you mind going over that night with me and my assistant and I?
Sure, that sounds like a good idea. Maybe we could publish something that will draw this person out. Too many people have been hurt already.
Like how the Zodiac Killer's letters were published to draw him out. Of course, it didn't really work. And I guess they never did catch that guy. So
Not helping many. Why don't you bring in Tom's assistant?
I'm on it.
How have you been, Mimi? Word around the office is that you took a leave of absence.
I did. I just needed some time to myself.
Overdue for a vacation, huh?
You have no idea.
I might.
We'll leave you guys to it. If you need us, we'll be right outside.
Knock him dead, guys.
So did you know Cachet Thomas?
Cachet Thomas? We met at our awards party, but we didn't get to know each other too well.
That's really interesting because according to this, you knew each other very well. Seem pretty friendly in these texts.
That's Cash's phone. How did you?
You were fucking my wife.
Your wife?
Yeah, because that's how this conversation was supposed to go, Con.
Supposed to go? She's not really your assistant, is she, Tom?
I'm really Cachet's wife. Did you really think you wouldn't have to answer for what you've done?
This is crazy.
What's crazy is you were fucking my wife.
I didn't know she was your wife.
Oh, well, in that case.
I mean, I'm sorry. I was selfish. I was a fan, and I just didn't think.
No shit, you didn't think.
I never meant to hurt anyone. I swear, I will help in any way I can.
And tell me what the hell happened to my wife.
According to these texts, you two planned the trip to Cancun together. She wasn't there alone, was she, Mimi?
It was my idea. I had already scheduled a shoot there. It was my idea to invite Cash.
How fucking generous of you.
But you didn't buy the tickets together.
No, We took the same flight, but didn't buy tickets all at once, just in case. Cash put the hotel under her name, so we didn't check in as a couple.
And what was the shoot?
It was freelance. I started out on the beach, but for the first day, then a studio the next. And I had few models.
Did you fuck them too?
Connie, please. Where was Cache while you were working?
She was supposed to meet me on the beach the first day, but she never did.
She didn't meet you? So when was the last time you saw her?
I saw her after the beach at the hotel.
Why didn't she meet you?
She said she was too busy writing. Something about new details in the serial murder case. She told me she went down to the lobby for a change of scene or something and lost track of time. I guess I was pretty upset because I didn't even see her when I came back to the hotel. Around 20 minutes later, she came back and we argued.
You argue with my wife?
I didn't mean to. I mean, I was wrong. I know. I swear, I'm sorry.
Then what happened, Mimi?
We took a boat ride. I rented a yacht for the evening.
So you were on the water where her body was found?
Wait, hold on. What are you suggesting?
We're just trying to get the facts straight.
We were on the water, but there was a crew and a chef and waiters. Several people saw us together.
So you rented a yacht, had dinner out at sea. How did the night end?
We went back to the hotel. I had to get up early to get to the studio. After that, I was supposed to be done for the remainder of the trip. Then that last morning, I let her sleep in. She never showed up at the studio. When I came back, she was gone. That was the last time I saw her.
That was also the last day I heard from her. So you yelled at my wife, then took her out on a boat. And a few hours later, she disappears.
Connie.
What are you saying?
I'm saying your ass was the last person to see her alive.
I would never hurt Cash.
Don't say her name like she was yours.
Connie, please.
This is ridiculous. I don't need this.
Connie, this is not the place.
You are lucky we're in a police station.
Let's all calm down.
I didn't come here to be treated like a monster. If you need me, officers, you know where you find me.
And you thought that wasn't going to go well.
I wish I could have been there. I bet she was about to have a meltdown.
She was about to catch a beat down.
I know that's right.
It wasn't exactly a plan, but it was entertaining as hell.
Can I come to the next one?
I don't think she's gonna agree to something like that again.
But wait, she didn't say anything useful, right?
Not really, no. She confirmed the affair, but that's really it.
But the affair connects her to Cash. Plus, she admitted that the trip to Mexico was all her idea.
Yeah, but without anything that actually connects her to the murder, that's only circumstantial evidence. It's not enough.
But now she's scared, right? At least that means she probably ain't about to kill anyone else.
It's likely that she'll take a little break, unless she's really just a psycho.
She must be psycho if she out here killing and eating people.
No one got eaten, Trey. Stick with the facts.
The fact is, we are closer to catching her. It's not much, but we've got her story and evidence that directly connects her to Cash.
Her story? Something's bothering me about that. She said she and Cash were supposed to meet up on the beach, but Cash never showed up.
Yeah, but then they met up again after that first photo shoot for a boat ride. The police were able to confirm that with the rental company.
Wait, Cash was writing about the murders, right?
She was.
Maybe that had something to do with it?
Yeah, like maybe Mimi was trying to play it cool, but she lost it when she saw what Cash wrote. Like how you did, Nadia.
Would you drop that already?
Mimi did say that she argued with Cash after she didn't show up.
Maybe that's where Mimi screwed up. That argument could be incriminating, right?
Again, circumstantial at best, but it could be something, a weak point in her story.
So she got super mad and decided to kill Cash anyway.
But not before taking a romantic boat ride?
I mean, if I had already spent money on a boat, I wouldn't waste it either. I'll just kill you later.
Wait, what did Mimi say that Cash was doing when they were supposed to meet on the beach?
She said Cash was writing in the lobby, something about a change of scenery. Why? What's wrong, Connie?
It's just Cash always needed a nice, comfortable place to write. That's why she loved that cafe she always went to. She called it cozy.
Definitely beats a hotel lobby.
What's your point, Connie?
It just doesn't sound like my wife. Something about that just doesn't feel right. Why would Cash miss out on going to the beach to stay cooped up in a corner in a hotel lobby? That's just not the kind of place she'd choose to work.
So Mimi lied about it?
But why? I mean, if they really went to that dinner that night, then why lie about that afternoon?
Right. Cash would have still been alive, so there's no need to make up a bullshit story about her writing in the lobby.
Are you sure that doesn't fit Cash?
Trust me, Cash was very particular. A setting like that would have, how she put it, killed her inspiration.
I understand. As a writer, you really have to be in the right place to be in the right headspace.
So what does it all mean?
I'm not sure, but there's more to this story for sure.
Hopefully, now that Mimi's on the radar, those detectives will get the full story.
And it was all because of our clever police work.
You put together a crack team here, Trey.
I know. I'm a genius, remember?
So Connie didn't keep her cool like we thought she would, but you gotta admit, she's a badass.
No argument for me. It wasn't conventional, but it sure as hell got results. So what do you think of Mimi?
I'm with Connie. It's gotta be Mimi. What, you don't think so?
I think there's more things that don't make sense. Maybe she's too obvious.
Come on, Romano. I know you're always seeing what everyone else misses, but sometimes the obvious is the answer. Connie and Tom made a good point. They all connect to the Grammy party.
And Mimi was there taking pictures. She would have had no trouble scoping these women out while remaining virtually unnoticed.
And she takes Cache to Cancun, expecting us not to make the connection.
So walk through it with me, partner. She branches out, hoping it'll confound authorities.
But she still used the same tactic. Why, if she didn't want us to connect Cache to the others?
Maybe that's why she dumped the body this time. It's the first she tried to hide.
She wanted to throw us off, but she didn't want to change up the method of killing. I guess if it ain't broke.
We're lucky Connie was able to get into Cash's phone. That connection to Mimi may have been the breakthrough we needed in this case.
Well, she definitely had a strong connection with Cache, if you know what I mean.
And hopefully we can prove a connection with all the other victims.
You still don't seem satisfied.
Mexico just isn't sitting right with me. Mimi goes around carefully picking out victims, somehow managing to lure each woman into a relationship.
I'd say that relationship is a lot more than friendship.
Or something more. She kills each woman in their own home, obviously having been welcomed in.
Right.
And she kills them all the same way. It's meticulous, precise.
So what's wrong?
Cache's wrong. Nothing directly ties these previous women to Mimi. So she was sleeping with them. She took extreme caution. Then Cache comes along and Mimi strikes up a full relationship with her. There's a dating app, and the multiple public meetups. They were even seen in Cachet's favorite cafe, not to mention a whole ass trip to Mexico.
Only to kill her there. You're right, Eagle Eye. That is a definite break in the pattern. If she was so cautious before, why implicate herself with Cachet? You think maybe Mimi was actually into her and something went wrong?
Like she just snapped.
Possible, right?
Yeah, something about Mimi does seem a little off. Glamorous parties, wild love affairs, murder in paradise. I wonder if Mimi is a fan of Hitchcock.
I was thinking more like one of those Lifetime movies. It's so crazy. It must be true. I love that kind of shit. I mean, yeah, I don't actually be watching those movies or nothing. I heard about it,
Uh-huh. Whatever, Manny. Just help me close this case and you can spend a week eating ice cream and watching the Lifetime channel. You've earned it, compadre.
This is crazy. This whole thing is crazy. First, you disappear on me a whole day. Now they're saying you're gone for good. This can't be happening. There is just no way. But isn't this the way it always goes? I start to care. I start to feel connected, like there is possibility, a real possibility. And then they are gone. I turn around and they are gone. I'm alone again, stuck with my pathetic husband. Am I destined to be that hopeless fool forever? Maybe I should say I did something. Maybe they will take me away from this madness finally. Maybe I'll have peace for once in my goddamn life. But I can't say I've hurt you, Cash. Not you. Never you. You are so different. You are so... Not you, Cash. Never you.
How you feeling, Mimi?
Do you need anything? Water? Coffee?
Water, please.
Sorry to make you wait for so long. You seem comfortable.
I don't understand why I've been detained.
Well, we know your trip to Mexico was cut short, well, with the whole murder thing and all. So we wanted to catch you before you left again. It's not that we don't trust you. We just don't want to have to pay for the long distance calls,
I haven't hurt anyone.
Maybe you haven't, Mimi. Maybe it was someone else. Do you ever lose track of time, Mimi?
What do you mean?
Maybe you black out. One moment you're at your desk, the next you're stabbing blonde women in the shower, stuff like that.
I'm not crazy.
No one's saying you are, Mimi.
I mean...
We're just saying things don't look good for you right now.
I didn't even know those other women.
There are about 100 photos from the Grammy party that suggest otherwise.
I was working. I took photos of everyone that night.
With a particular focus on the women of the night.
So I appreciate the female form. That's not a crime.
Hey, look at that. For once, we agree on something.
If all you have are pictures from a public event, you are just wasting your time and mine.
We have cash, text messages, public dates.
Oh, yeah. And that little trip to Mexico that ended in her death.
I didn't hurt her. I would never hurt Cash. She wasn't like the rest. She was special. She understood me in a way no one ever has.
Well, you're definitely not easy to understand.
Cash wasn't like the rest?
That's not what I meant.
Then what did you mean, Mimi? Who is the rest?
Other people I've dated.
Does that include your husband?
No one like Cash, not ever. Cash was too unique.
Then tell us what really happened in Mexico.
I don't know what happened.
Come on, Mimi. Give us something for Cash.
I really don't know. She was supposed to meet me at the studio. She was fine that morning when I left. Then she was just gone. Like everyone else in my life. I trust and I give so much of me. Then I turn around and I'm alone. I'm always hoping I can keep one. Just one. Like the perfect shot, Like I can just snap the perfect shot and it's there forever and it's mine and no one can ever take that shot from me. It's frozen forever in time.
When you say shot,
Is that what you've been trying to do, Mimi? Trying to capture the perfect moment?
I'm always behind the camera. No one sees the one who takes the picture. Cash was the only person who ever made me feel like I was in focus. That's why I would never hurt her. I would never hurt her.
All right, Mimi. Why don't we call it a day? You seem like you need some rest.
yeah, don't worry, Mimi. We'll take you someplace nice and comfortable, someplace padded with a nice jacket to match your room.
Okay, so what new evidence do we have, Tom?
It's Mr. Tom, little boy.
How many times do I have to tell you that I'm 15 years old?
You're still a little boy to me.
The term boy is very disrespectful to an African American man. You should know that. And if you don't, you need to educate yourself.
I understand. I apologize.
Plus, I'm the head of my household.
What do you mean? Don't you have a father?
Yes, but he isn't around. My mother ran our home until her death, and now it's up to me to raise my 4 brothers and sisters. Despite our riches, we don't have a nanny. My mother didn't believe in that type of thing. She was old school. The mother raises her children, not some outsider. Now that she's gone, it's up to me to hold the house down.
I apologize. I didn't realize what you were going through. That must be really tough.
Yes, it's tough. You don't know, nor will you ever understand what it means to be a Black man in America. Regardless of the class, Black boys do not get to enjoy their adolescence like their counterparts. Look at Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin. Shit. Let's start with Emmett Till. Emmett Till was a 14-year-old boy born in Chicago, Illinois. He went down in the Mississippi to visit his family. While there, a white woman accused him of harassment. Her story would go on to change several times pertaining to his alleged actions. They abducted, tortured, and lynched him. When his mother arranged his funeral services, she noticed there was a hole inside of his head and he did not have an ear. On top of being badly decomposed, he was so swollen that his face was unrecognizable. No one was convicted for his death. Trayvon Martin was a 17-year-old African-American male who lived in Florida. He was attacked, shot, and killed by a Hispanic man who believed Trayvon looked suspicious. The man was found not guilty of killing Trayvon. Recently, this man was at a white supremacy rally, signing Skittle bags, mocking the bag of Skittles Trayvon had in his hand when he was killed. Tamir Rice was a 12-year-old Black boy who was shot and killed by the police. He was carrying a toy gun and allegedly pointed it at several people, according to the police. They also stated that he drew his gun when they had him surrounded. The FBI justified his death and the case was closed. These are 3 young African-American males that people to this day don't see as young boys. Their lives were taken and then they justified it, as opposed to little white boys who can shoot up a school, shoot up a Walmart, killing dozens of Hispanics, or go into a church and murder dozens of African Americans. They aren't seen as men. The media depicts them as little boys who had a rough upbringing. They were bullied and for whatever else they say to bring sympathy for their actions.
I wish I knew what to say.
Whether it be in their household or in society, young African American males are groomed into men at an early age.
Officer Ortiz speaking.
Yes, hello. My name is Donna Garcia with California Border Patrol. We have detained a woman attempting to cross into California from Mexico.
Okay, please don't tell me you've caught my abuela again.
Excuse me?
Never mind, continue.
She's stating that her name is Cache Thomas.
With everything wrapping up, It looks like our little partnership is going to come to an end.
It's a team, Tom. We put together a team. I've got to be honest with you. You and the kids have really helped me through this whole thing. Thank you for everything.
Right back at you, Connie. When we first met, I never would have thought that we'd end up as, well, friends.
Shit. I couldn't stand you at first. But you're good people, Tom. You really are. But we couldn't have done it without Henderson. Trey Henderson.
Expecting company?
No, hang on, Tom.
I'm sorry to bother you, Connie. Hi, Tom.
Hello, Officer Ortiz.
Connie, we need you down at the station.
What? Right now? Why?
It's urgent.
I really don't want to deal with this crazy photographer right now. Not tonight, officer.
It's not what you think.
Then what is it?
We can discuss that when we get you to the station.
If you don't tell me, I'm not going. I'm exhausted. So if I'm not under arrest.
Listen, I understand that it's late, but it's a must that we get you to the station.
Why can't it wait until the morning?
Please, Connie, just come with me.
Why?
It pertains to your wife.
Well, I figured that.
Trust me, you're gonna want to come with me.
All right, fine. Tom, you want to come along for old time's sake?
Of course. This should be interesting.
Oh, you have no idea.
What the hell happened in Mexico, Cash?
I don't have shit to see to you. I want to see my lawyer.
Your lawyer? Great. Just a second. You asked to see a lawyer? Well, here you go.
This is bullshit.
Why, Cash?
Because.
Because what?
Because.
Answer me. Because what? Why the hell are you killing people?
It was beneficial and I needed them.
What are you talking about?
You didn't give a shit about our relationship, let alone our damn marriage. You haven't given a fuck since you passed that damn bar. Those women actually cared about me, but I knew I couldn't keep them.
Cash.
Don't cash me. You wanted to know why? I'm telling you. I wanted someone. I needed someone. And you weren't there. But they were. They listened to my thoughts, wants, and needs. They were my happiness for a very long time. Funny thing is, it was in front of your face the entire time, but you were so far up your own ass that you didn't even notice it.
Cash, I apologize for not being there, but you didn't have to kill people.
Do you think I wanted to do this shit? Do you actually think I wanted to kill the woman I cared about? I couldn't fucking keep them. They had families, husbands, and kids. They couldn't leave that life behind for some journalist. So I killed them. But then I realized.
What?
I finally had a story.
You're not making any sense.
Can you imagine multiple wealthy African American women being killed? What a story. To have the inside scoop of what happened to them is tremendous. No one reports as missing. Nobody cares but me. I can get their stories heard. I'd become a hero. It was the perfect scenario.
You're insane.
Call it what you want, but I call it success.
Success? In jail?
It wasn't the plan to get caught, obviously, but I still have what I needed. Do you know how many serial killers that are still alive? In prison? They're doing interviews. writing novels, and they've achieved fame just by committing crimes. I'm a journalist. I went to school for this shit. No one has an advantage like I do.
You threw your life away for this.
I have nothing else to lose. It doesn't matter to me anymore. I've given up on life a long time ago.
We could have gotten you help. You didn't need to hurt people.
Please don't act like you give a fuck now. I've come to terms with my fate, and whatever it may be, I'm fine with that.
I'm not fine. Cash, even after all of this, I still care about you.
Listen, if it makes you feel better, I don't completely blame you. At some point, I have to take responsibility for my own actions.
Oh, well, in that case.
Are we done here? Did they get their fucking confession? Well?
There's still one thing I can't understand. What happened in Mexico, Cash?
I tried to step away. I wanted to take some time with Mimi. We were building something together.
What about what we built?
The foundation was faulty. I moved on.
Yeah, because Mimi was a stable genius.
So you never had any intention of harming Mimi?
Mimi was different. She treated me like I was the most important thing to her.
You're still the most important thing to me, Cash. Nothing will ever change that.
Whatever, Connie. The plan was to focus on Mimi, but I got distracted. On the way to her shoot, I met a woman at a bar, on the beach, pretty, wealthy, lonely. Her husband always away on business or whatever. She came up to me. I couldn't resist.
Then what happened?
We drank together. She even showed me the little Ruger she kept in her purse. It was all too easy. She invited me to take a little ride on her personal platoon. I knew I couldn't keep her either. I only had the afternoon. So I did what I do. I tied her up, but then she must have slipped the rope. When I turned to get the gun from her purse, the bitch rushed me. I hit her with the gun and knocked her down. Then she grabbed my purse and threw it at me. I didn't even realize it was mine till later, but it went overboard. I never found it. She tried to jump off the boat, but I fired. Needless to say, that one did not go as planned. I admit, I fucked that one up. Oh well. Does that about cover everything, officer?
You've given us everything we need, Cash.
Great. Now book me because I'm tired.
Can I please have more time with my wife?
Sorry, Connie, we can't do that.
Please.
Look, we're done here. This marriage was done a long time ago. Let it be done.
I can't just let it go like this. I'm still trying to wrap my head around all of this.
Connie, it's not all that bad. Well, except for the last one. I did, however, leave their bodies for the police and families to find. I wanted to give them some closure. Now that right there is empathy.
All right, Cash. Time to go.
You're evil.
Pure.